नमस्कार एवरीवन, लिसनिंग रेडियो खांची 90.4 FM हम सबका रेडियो। I am Dr. Rajiv Asthana, Associate Professor, Department of Physics, Gosner College. Today I will be introducing statistical mechanics, which is in the 6th semester UG and 3rd semester PG course of Ranchi University. Statistical mechanics is an indispensable tool for studying the macroscopic properties of systems in terms of their microscopic properties. It aims to study the physical properties of a mechanical system in a situation where the description is incomplete. The scope of statistical mechanics is very wide. It is applicable to all phenomena of macroscopic bodies whose behavior cannot be completely described by the theory of mechanics, either classical or quantum. That is, it is applicable to physics, chemistry, material science, astrophysics, biology, etc. The formalism of statistical mechanics enables us to investigate the non-equilibrium states of matter as well as the equilibrium states. These investigations help us to understand the manner in which a physical system that happens to be out of equilibrium at a given time approaches a state of equilibrium as time passes. The objective of statistical mechanics is to explain the macroscopic properties of a system on the basis of the dynamical behavior of its constituent particles. Statistical mechanics may be divided into two parts. First is the theory of equilibrium state. The second is the theory of non-equilibrium state. In the first case, we deal with the situation in which probabilities and average values are independent of time. In the second case, they are dependent on time. This helps us understand the process through which a physical system, initially in non-equilibrium state, approaches a state of equilibrium in course of time. Statistical mechanics is of two types, classical and quantum. Depending upon the character of the constituent particles, such as atoms and molecules of the system. When the atoms and molecules constituting the system are governed by the laws of classical mechanics, then statistical mechanics is called classical statistics. And if they are governed by the quantum laws, then it is known as quantum statistics. Macrostates and microstates. Now there are two different ways of looking at a thermodynamic system. The first way is macroscopic and employs classical ideas. The second way is microscopic and employs quantum ideas. So, to describe a system macroscopically, we specify it by macrostate. The macrostate of an isolated system is specified by using thermodynamic variables E, V and N. These quantities are the measure of collective behavior of atoms in gas. The microscopic description of a system is made by specifying what we shall call it microstate. A microstate specifies the system with the physical quantities of the constituent particles. In classical mechanics, the state of a single particle is specified by its position and momentum. For n particles in a box, a microstate is specified by a set of values of their positions and momenta. Since each of these vectors has three components, the whole lot represents a 6n dimensional space. This is the phase space of n particle system. In quantum mechanics, we use wave functions to describe the physical motion of a particle, and these wave functions are usually specified by a set of quantum numbers. For example, a state of an electron in hydrogen atom is specified by a set of quantum numbers n, l, m, sigma, where n is principal quantum number, l is angular momentum quantum number, m is the z component of angular momentum quantum number, sigma has value plus half and minus half, is called the spin quantum number. Hence, the quantum states are discrete numbers, whereas the classical states are continuous variables. Microstate gives a very detailed description of the system. A typical macroscopic system contains n particles of the order of 10 to the power 23. So detailed description of a macroscopic system is clearly impractical, and hence we make use of statistical methods. On the other hand, the system's macrostate is fully determined once three quantities E, V and N are specified. A simple example of a quantum mechanical system is the simple harmonic oscillator. The quantum states of this system are fully characterized by a single quantum number n, which takes non-negative integer values. For n is equal to 0 corresponds to the ground state. The energy eigenvalues of the oscillator are given by the formula En is equal to within bracket n plus half multiplied by h cross omega, where omega is the characteristic frequency of the oscillator. The corresponding eigenfunctions can be written in terms of Hermite polynomials. A more complicated example of a quantum system is one which contains n identical simple harmonic oscillators. The quantum state in this case is specified by giving the value of each one of the n quantum numbers. The energy of state R is ER is equal to within bracket n1 plus half h cross omega plus bracket n2 plus half bracket close h cross omega plus so on up to the nth, and the wave function of the entire system is obtained by taking the product of all individual wave functions. Classical thermodynamics describes macroscopic systems in terms of few thermodynamic variables P, V, T, E, etc. But such systems are made of atoms, and a microscopic description would be in terms of the states of all the atoms. Hence, we need a bridge between the microstate and macrostate description. The bridge is provided by statistical mechanics. As the atoms interact, the microstates changes very rapidly, approximately 10 to the power 35 times per second. So in principle, we take two approaches in averaging. First is time average and the second is average by distribution. Now let's see how we can find time average. Suppose X is some observed macroscopic quantity, that is a state variable, for example internal energy E. We take average over some long time tau. The expression will be X observable is equal to 1 upon tau integration xt dt from t0 to t0 plus tau, and in equilibrium the expression will become average x equivalent to limit tau approaches infinity of 1 upon tau integration xt dt from t0 to t0 plus tau. Now let's see how we can find average by distribution. Suppose the variable x in microstate I is written as xi. Let the probability that the ith microstate appears in a measurement of the system be represented as pi. Then we can average over microstates to get the observed value of average x in the microstate, written as average x is equal to summation of pi xi. This idea of taking an ensemble average is much easier in practice than the more complicated time averaging, provided we know the probabilities pi. Now I will discuss in brief about ensemble. An ensemble is a collection of a large number of copies of the system. Each is one of the allowed microstates. Now if omega represents the number of microstates consistent with a given macrostate, nu represents the number of copies of the system in the ensemble, then the number of copies of the ith microstates will be nu I is equal to pi nu. If we use lambda is equal to 1, 2, 3, up to nu to label the copies, and I is equal to 1, 2, 3 up to omega to label the microstates, then the expression for average x is equal to 1 upon nu summation x lambda, where lambda ranges from 1 to nu, is equal to 1 upon nu summation nu I xi, where I ranges from 1 to omega, is equal to summation pi xi, where I ranges from 1 to omega. Now there are three kinds of ensembles which are used a lot in statistical mechanics, and they are: first one is the microcanonical ensemble, the second one is the canonical ensemble, and the third one is the grand canonical ensemble. Now the microcanonical ensemble pertains to isolated systems, that is at fixed E, V and N. The copies of the ensemble are also isolated from each other, that is a single isolated system. In this case, the key state function is entropy S, which is a function of E, V and N. Next we have the canonical ensemble. This pertains to system in contact with a heat path, that is at fixed T, V and N. The copies of the ensemble are assumed to be in thermal contact so that they may exchange energy with each other. Thus all the copies act as a heat bath for any individual copy. In this case, the key state function is Helmholtz free energy F, which is a function of T, V and N. The third one is the grand canonical ensemble. This pertains to system in contact with a reservoir with which they can exchange both heat and particles, that is at fixed T, V and mu. The copies are assumed to be in both thermal and diffusive contact so that they may exchange both heat and particles with each other. Now let's discuss about phase space. In classical mechanics, if we have a single particle in one dimension, then we can describe the system completely by specifying the position coordinate q and the momentum coordinate p. We can represent this graphically by labeling one axis with q and another axis with p. We call the space spanned by P and Q as phase space. It is the system in which the point Q1, P1 exists. If our system has n particles and exists in 3 dimensions, then we must provide Pi and Qi for all n particles. Since P and Q are each 3-dimensional vectors, then to represent the system as a point in phase space, we require 6n axes. In other words, phase space is 6n dimensional. The spatial coordinates and momenta coordinates are continuous variables. To obtain a countable number of states, we divide phase space into little boxes or cells. For a single particle in one dimension, example, the volume of one such cell will be written as delta Q into delta P equal to H naught, where H naught is a small constant having the dimension of angular momentum. The state of the system can be specified by stating that its coordinates lies in some interval between Q and Q plus delta Q and between P and P plus delta P. For n particle system, F is equal to 3n spatial coordinates, F is equal to 3n momentum coordinates are required to specify the system. So the volume of the cell in the phase space will be written as delta Q1, delta Q2 up to delta Qn, then delta P1 into delta P2 up to delta Pn is equal to H naught to the power F. Each cell in phase space corresponding to a state of the system can now be labeled with some number. The state of a system is provided by specifying the number of the cell in phase space within which the system is located. If the system is in a gaseous condition, then the phase space is also known as gamma space and the phase point is known as the G point. Sometimes 3n position components are known as configuration space and the 3n momentum components are known as the momentum space. The complete phase space is the sum of configuration space and momentum space. As the system evolves in time, the coordinates of the particle change and the n particle system follows some trajectory in this 6n dimensional space. That trajectory is called phase trajectory. In statistical mechanics, it is more convenient to use equation of motion in the Hamilton canonical form, which is written as Qi dot is equal to del H upon del Pi, Pi dot is equal to minus del H over del Qi, where I ranges from 1 to n. Also the H, Q, comma P is the Hamiltonian of the system. By solving these equations, one can find out the location of the phase point at any time t. Along with time, the phase point generates a phase trajectory whose direction at any time is determined by the velocity vector. V vector is equal to qi dot comma pi dot. The locus of all phase points in the phase space satisfying the condition h bracket q comma p is equal to E defines a surface called energy surface of energy E. The trajectory always stays on the same energy surface because energy is conserved. On the other hand, if the total energy lies in the range E minus half delta comma E plus half delta, the corresponding trajectory will be restricted to the hypershell defined by these limits. Now, for an example, let us consider a three-dimensional harmonic oscillator. Its energy is given by the formula E is equal to P square upon 2m plus half kq square, or we can write P square is equal to 2me minus kq square m, or P square plus kq square m is equal to 2me, or P square divided by 2me plus kq square divided by 2e is equal to 1, or we can write P square divided by square root 2me square plus q square divided by square root 2e upon k whole square is equal to 1. This equation represents an ellipse in the phase space, that is in the QP plane. The phase points are those lying on the elliptical path of semi-major axis square root 2e upon k and semi-minor axis square root 2me. At any instant, the phase of oscillator is represented by some point on the ellipse. So now I would like to conclude my first brief lecture on statistical mechanics here. Thank you for listening it.